Act 1, Scene 1. Before Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Hero, and Beatrice, with a messenger.
I learned in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He's very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
We're 2 lines in, JP. He's lost.
Have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing, in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina. Will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a batch of bitterness.
Did it break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better is it to weep at joy than to joy at weeping?
I pray you, is Signor Montantanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin seeks Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as he ever was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, you tag Senior Benedict too much, but he'll meet with you. I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath holp to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war between Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas! He gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off. And now is the whole man governed with 1, so that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth that he hath left, to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
O Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he hath caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You'll never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Enter Don Pedro, Don John, Claudio, Benedict, and Balthazar.
Good Signor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so. Were you to doubt, sir, that you asked her? Sir Benedict, no, for when you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this who you are, being a man. Truly, the lady fathers herself be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Senor Leonato be her father, she will not have his head on her shoulders, for Almacina as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will be still talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you left living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she had such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is her courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I love all of ladies. Only you excepted. I would find I could find my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I've loved none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind. So some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare poet teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way. In God's name, I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
This is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my friend's friend, and my dear friend Leonato, hath invited... you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you will not be forsworn.
To Don John.
Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all a duty.
Who's Don John now?
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, it your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato, we will go together.
Execute all except Benedict and Claudio. Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, a faith? Methinks she's too low for high praise. Too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I'm in spot? I pray thee tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah. And a case to put it into. But speak you the sad brow, or do you play the flaunting jack and tell us Cupid is a good hairfinder and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she, were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is't come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I ne'er see a bachelor of 80 again? Go, i' faith. And thou, wit, needst thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is to return in to see you.
We enter Don Pedro.
What secret hath you held you here, that you followed not to Leonardo's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio. I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance. Mark you this, on my allegiance. He is in love. With who? Now, that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord. It is not so. No, 'twas not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is well worthy, is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by true faith and trust, my lord, has spoke man.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor how should she be weary, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That woman conceived me, I think her, and she brought me up. I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an Aldrich. All women shall pardon me, because I do not them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none, and the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
Be with anger, with sadness. Oh, with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of the brothel house for a sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, at this time shall try. In time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedick bears it, pluck off the bull's horn and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and such great letters as they write, Here is good horse to hire. Let them signify under my sign, Here you may say Benedick, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you temporize with your hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedick, repair to Leonato's. Commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I add it.
The 6th of July, your lovely friend Benedick.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are all but slightly blasted on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
Exit. No, exit. My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how. And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may be good. Do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She is his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to thrive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant in their rooms, come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is. Saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. What's not to this end that thou beginnest to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need to bridge much broader than a flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight, and I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prison with the force, the strong encounter of my amorous tale. And after to a father will I break, and this conclusion is she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Excellent. Scene 2.
End of scene 1.
End of scene 1. Scene 2. A room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato and Antonio. Meeting Leonato.
Oh, no, brother. Where's my cousin, your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it.
But brother,
Fight through it! Fight through it!
I can tell.
It's strange news that you aren't yet dreamed of.
Are they any good?
As the event skips them, but they have a good cover. They show well outward. The prince and Count Claudio walking in a thick bleached valley of mine orchard. Look at that. Much overheard by a man of mine. The prince you discovered to Claudio that he may love my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night at a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
And the fellow.
And you went that you told this? A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal. That she may be better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true. Go you and tell her of it.
Enter attendants.
Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care in this busy time.
Excellent. End of scene 2. Scene 3. The same. Enter Don John and Conrad.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There's no measure in the occasion that reach. Therefore, the sadness is without.
You should hear reason.
I heard it. What blessing brings...
Brings it. If not a present remedy, at least a patient of sufferance.
They're both Dons.
You can do it. Just keep going. Woo.
Gosh.
Just do it. Just do it.
In the same voice?
Yep. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Alright, I wonder that thou bring as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, going about to apply a moral medicine to this mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jest. Eat when I have stomach and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I merry and claw no man in his humour.
Yeah, but you must not make the fuller show of this until you have made a do without a controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he has to tie you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I'd rather be a cranker in this hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob that love from any in this. Now I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man. I cannot be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and franchised with a clog. Therefore I am decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here?
Enter Borachio.
What news, Brachio? I come yonder from a great supper.
You got it. Just go.
Do it. I'm sorry. The prince... I wish I had something. I'm sorry.
Go high.
The prince is your brother, is greatly entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage. Will it serve for any mortal to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths him to quietness? Marry, here's your brother's right hand. Who? The most inquisitive Claudio? Even he, a proper squire. And who? Which way looks he? Marry on he, the daughter of heir Leonato, a very forward March chick. How came you to this? Being entertained for a performer as I was smoking. as I was smoking. Musty room comes me a prince and Claudio hand in hand in sad conference. I went from behind the heiress and here and arise, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio. Come, let us thither. This may This may prove my displeasure. This had start hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him in any way, I will bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me.
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater than I am subdued, with the cookware of my mind. Shall we go prove what is to be done?
We'll wait upon your...
Wait upon your lordship!
Exit. End scene. 3. Act 2. Scene 1. A hall in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Antonio, Hero, Beatrice, and others.
Was not Count John here at supper? I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. The one is too like an image and says nothing, the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then have Senor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and have Count John's melancholy in Senor Benedict's face.
With good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if, could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband, if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue. In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way, for it is said God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I would rather lie in the woolen.
You may have light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel, and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take 6 pence in earnest of the bear ward, and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then, go you to hell.
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me, like an old cuckold, with horns on his head, and say, Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. There's no place for you maids. So deliver I up to my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
To Hero.
Well, niece, I trust you to be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith. It is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope you see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a pierce of valiant dust, to make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you? If a prince just solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For, hear me, hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and not a sync pace. The first suit is hot and hasty, like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry, and then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sync pace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The rillers are entering, brother. Make good room.
All put on their masks. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, Don John, Borachio, Margaret, Ursula, and others. Masked.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing? I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
Worth me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor, for God defend the lute, should be like the case.
My visor's of Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak loud.
Drawing her aside. No, that's me. It's actually funny because I was gonna do something dirty.
Just do it.
Well, I would. You did me.
So that I, for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities,
Which is one.
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen!
And God, keep me out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Senor Antonio.
In a word, I am not.
I know you by the wiggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You can never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
In a word, I am not.
Come, do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mom, you are he. Graces will appear and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales? Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he ever make you laugh?
I pray, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester. A very dull fool. Only his gift is in despising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I tell him what you say.
Do. He put a break on comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy, and then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night.
Music! We must... Oh.
We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Dance. Then exeunt
Hey.
all except
Ho-ho.
Don John,
Hey.
Horatio, and Claudio.
Dance.
Sure, my brother is amorous on a hero and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains. And that is Claudio! I know him by his bearing! Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part to be an honest man in it.
Oh, know you, he loves her.
I heard him swear his affection. So did I, and he swore he would marry her tonight. Come, let us do the banquet.
Exeunt Don John and Horatio. Thus answer I, in the name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore all arts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent, for beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero. Re-enter Benedict.
Count Claudio,
Yeah, the same.
come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business, county. What fashion will you wear the garland of? Around your neck like an usurer's chain? Or wear your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it in one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drovier. So they sell bollocks. But did you think the prince would have served you then?
I pray you, leave me.
Ho! Now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you. Exit.
Alas, poor hurtfowl, now will creep into sedges. But my Lady Beatrice should know me. Not know me, the prince's fool. Ah, it may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yeah, but so I to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed, but in the base, though bitter, disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into reversion, so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as it may.
Re-enter Don Pedro.
Now, senor, where's the count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Flame. I have found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace hath not the goodwill of his young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, or being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod, as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
A flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Will that not make a trust of transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach him then to sing, and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer you by saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel with you. The gentleman hath danced with her, told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she has misused me in the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visitor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest, without much impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at the mark with a army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and every word stands, and her breath were as terrible as her terminations. There were no living near her, she would inflict to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam bad lived before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules, have turned spit, yeah, and have cleft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her that infernal 8 in good apparel. I would go to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose, because they would go thither. So indeed all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Enter Claudio, Beatrice, Hero, and Leonato.
Will your grace commend me in a service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can advise me to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker, now from the furthest edges of Asia. Bring you to the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great Cham's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no enjoyment for me.
None, but to desire your good company.
Oh, good sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Exit.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it off me with false dice, therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, my lady, you have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
I faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his good will obtained. Name the day of the marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made me the match, and grace to say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him not speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yeah, my lord. I think it, poor fool, it keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good lord, for allegiance? Thus goes every one to the world, but I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hi-ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days, your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me, I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried, but then there was a star dance, and under that I was born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you give it to those things if I told you?
I cry your mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
Exit.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of a melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she had often dreamed of unhappiness, and watched herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just se'nnight, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer in my mind.
Come, you shake the head at so long a breather, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go duly by us. I would interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice to a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have in a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not an unhopefulest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict, in despite of his quick wit and his uneasy and queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are only love gods. Go in one with me, and I will tell you my drift.
Excellent. End of scene 1. Scene 2. The same. Enter Don John and Borachio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo. Yea, my lord, but I can cross it. Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinal to me. I am sick to displeasure to him. And whatsoever so athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage? But honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me. Show me briefly how. I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman of Hero. I remember. I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at the lady's chamber window. What time is that? Is in that to be the death of this marriage? The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, who estimation do you mightily hold, but a contaminated stale, such as one as Hero. What proof shall I make of that? Proof enough to misuse the prince. to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonardo. Look, you for any other issue? Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything. Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and Count Claudio alone. Tell them that I know the Hero loves me, and tend a kind zeal both to the prince and Claudio as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match and his friend's reputation with his, who is thus like to be concerned with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. You will scarcely believe that without trial, offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window, hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see that this very night before the intended wedding, for in the meantime I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, and jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown. Roll this to what adverse issue you can. I will put into practice, be cunning in this working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats. Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me. I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
Exeunt. End of Scene 2.
1.
Scene 3. Leonato's orchard. Enter Benedick.
Boy!
Enter Boy.
Signor. In my bedchamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me to the orchard.
I am already here, sir.
I know that, but I would have the hints, and here again.
Exit Boy.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool, when he dictates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at my shallow follies and others, become an argument for his own scorn by falling in love, and such a man as Claudio. I would have known there was no music with him, but the drum of the fife, and how he had rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have been known when we would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armour, and now he will lie 10 nights a week, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier, and now he has turned oligarchy. His words are very fantastically quaint. Just so many strange dishes. That I be so converted, and she with those eyes, I cannot tell, I think not. I will not be sworn, but love might transform me to an oyster. but I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make a fool, such a fool. One moon is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another is virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that is certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I fear an angle. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what colour it please God. Ha! The prince and Monsieur live. I will hide me in the arbour.
Withdraws. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonato.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my lord, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See where Benedict hath hid himself.
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit the kid fox with a pennyworth. Enter Balthazar and music.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
It is a witness shout of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee sing and let no woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing, since many a wooer doth commence his suit. To her he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
Now pray thee come, or if thou wilt no longer argue, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. Here not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchet that he speaks. Notes, forsooth, or nothing.
Air.
Now, divine now and so ravished. It is not strange that sheep's guts should hail sounds out of men's bodies. Well, a horn for my money when all's done.
The song. Take me to church. Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot in sea and one on shore. To one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go. But you be blithe and bonny, converting all your songs of woe into hey, nonny, nonny. Sing no more, Diddy, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so, and see.
By my troth, a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
Oh, no. Faith, thou singest well for a shift.
And he had been a dog that would have howled thus, they would have hanged him. And I pray God his bad voice brought no mischief. I had as lief heard the night raven. Come what plague could have come after it.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music for tomorrow night. We would have it at the Ladies' Hill's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell.
Exit Balthazar.
Come hither, Leonato. What is it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Oh, aye, stalk on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she had in all outward behavior seemed as ever to abhor. Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner? By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him, or that enraged affection is past the infinite of that.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Terrifying.
Oh God, counterfeit! There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, that affects of passion show she.
Bait the hook well. The fish will bite.
What affects, my lord? She'll sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How, pray you? You amaze me. I thought her spirit to be invincible against all sorts of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict. I would think this is gold, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Never he cannot, sure, hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Has she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and she swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true, indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so often encountered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remembered a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had read it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet.
That?
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,500 pence, railed at herself, that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, she says, by my own spirit, for I should flaunt him, and if he writ to me, yeah, I thought I loved him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter said so. And the ecstasy has so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afraid she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it, and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should. It were an alms to hang him. He's an excellent sweet lady. She's an excellent sweet lady, and I have no suspicion she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedict.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body. We have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage upon me. I would have daft all the other respects, and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedict of it, and hear what I will say.
Alright, God, thank you.
Hero thinks surely she will die. For she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her. Rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God and in my mind very wise.
He doth indeed show some spot that he are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
as Hector, I assure you. In the managing of quarrels you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with the most Christian-like fear.
If he do forget, must necessarily keep peace. If he breaks the peace, he ought to enter in a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, howsoever it seems not in him by some large jest he will make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedict, and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool a while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself, and see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one in opinion of another's dotage, and so much matter that's the scene that I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him to dinner.
Exeunt Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonato. Coming forward.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They had the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. Seems her affections have her full bent. Love me. Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive to love come from her. I say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must seem not proud. Happy are there that hear their distractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth. I can bear them witness how virtuous 'tis, so I cannot reprove it, and wise, for in loving me by my troth, there is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument for her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her, and by chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth, and he cannot endure in his age. Shall whips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain a man from the career of his humour? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Enter Beatrice.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure, then, in the message?
Yeah, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a daw withal. You have no stomach, senor. Fare you well.
Exit.
Heh! Against my will, I am not sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a Jew. I will go get a picture.
Exit. End of act.
Go.
Act 3, Scene 1. Leonato's garden. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good morning, Margaret. Run 3 to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice, proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardest us, and bid her steal into the bleached bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun. Forbid the sun to enter like favorites, made proud by princes that advance their pride. Against that power that bred it, there will she hide her, to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
Oh, make her come. I warrant you presently.
Exit.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay.
Enter Beatrice behind.
Now begin. For look where Beatrice, like like a lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish, caught with her golden horns the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it.
Approaching the bower.
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loved Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
But did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
O God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, how young, how rarely featured. But she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black-white nature drawing of an antique made a foul blot, if tall a lance ill-headed, if low an agate very vilely cut, if speaking, why a vain blow with all winds, if silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simplicity and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be condemnable, but who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sights, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, I rather will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion, and truly I'll devise some honest slander to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be without true judgment. Having so sweet and excellent a wit as she is prized to have is to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always accepted of my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, forbearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in reporting through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. Where are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires, and have thy counsel, which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Exeunt, Hero and Ursula.
What
Coming forward.
what fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such, and Benedict, love on, I will requite thee. Taming my wild heart to thy loving hand, if thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Exit. End of Scene 1. Scene 2. A room in Leonato's house. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, and Leonato.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go on to Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be such great soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat, and forbid him to wear it. I will be but bold with Benedict, for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet, he is all but mirth. He is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstrings, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is a clapper. So, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gods, I am not as I have been. So say, methinks you are a satyr.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop in blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for a toothache?
Where is but a humor or a worm? Well, everyone can master a grief, but he has that has it.
Yet, say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath no to strange disguise, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of two countries at once, as a German from the waist downward all slaps the Spaniard form, the hip upward no doublet, unless he hath fancy for his foolery, as it appears he hath. He has no fool for fancy, as you have it appears he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. A brushes is at mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath seen him with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by the loss of a beard.
Nay, he rubs himself with a civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That as much as to say, the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of this is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which now crept into a lute string, and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know. That would I know not. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and is ill conditions, and in despite of all dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yes, it is no charm for the toothache. Hold Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
Exeunt Benedict and Leonato.
For my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet. Enter Don John.
My lord and brother, God save you. Good den, brother. If your leisure served, I would speak with you. In private, if it pleased you. Yes, Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him. What's the matter?
To Claudio.
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow? You know he does. I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be an impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me. By that I now will manifest for my brother. I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent, and labour ill bestowed. Why, what's the matter? I come hither to tell you, and circumstances shorted, for she hath been too long a-talking of the Lady of Disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero?
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warned. Go but with me tonight, you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But I would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it. If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why should I not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I should wed? There I will shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her. I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself. O day untowardly turned!
O mischief strangely thwarting!
O plague wreck well prevented! So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Exeunt. End of Scene 2. Scene 3. A street. Enter Dogberry and Verges with the watch.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dugberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oakcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name, and to be well-favoured man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Well, both which, Master Constable.
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favour, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear, when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most sensible and fit man for the constable of this watch, and therefore bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
Well, we will not stand.
Why, then, take no note of it, but let go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of knave.
If he will not stand, when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True. And they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable, and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet man, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care for that your bells be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid them that are drunk get them to bed.
Wow, if they will not.
Why then? I'll let them till they are sober. If they make you not, then the better answer. You may say they were not the man you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do not take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I will not hang a dog by my will. Much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying, for the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it pays. That is, will never answer a calf what he believes.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince at the night, you may stay.
Nay, by Our Lady, that I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on. With any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing, for, indeed, the watch ought to offend no man, and his offence to say a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Ha ha ha. Well, masters, good night. And then be there any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows counsel and your own. Good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One more word. Honest neighbor, I pray you watch Signor Leonardo's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there are great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Exeunt Dogberry and Verges. Enter Borachio and Conrad.
What, Conrad?
Peace stir not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Mass, my elbow ditch. I thought there would be a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that, and now forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close, then unto the penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all the names.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore now I have earned a John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it was impossible that villainy should be so rich. When rich villains, the poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest the fashion of the hat of the cloak is nothing of a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I made the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Touch! I may as well. That's what's. A fool's a fool. But seest thou that what a deformed thief this fashion is?
Aside.
I know that deformed. Has been a vile thief this 7 year. Goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Dost thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not? I say with a deformed thief this fashion is. He's giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14, 5, and 30. Sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the ring painting, sometimes like old God Bell, the priest in the old church window, sometimes like a shaven Hercules in the smirched worm-made tapestry, with a crown piece seems as massy as his glove.
Oh, this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art thou not thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast sifted out thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so, neither. But thou have tonight wooed Margaret, the latest hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans out at the mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell thee, vilely, I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and his master planted and placed and and possessed by my master John, so far off with the awkwardness everyone encounter.
And thought they Margaret was hero?
2 of them did. The prince and Claudio, but the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oath which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, and rage swore he would meet her, as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight, and sent her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand.
Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. Wears a lock.
Masters.
You'll be made ring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters.
Never speak. We charge you, let us obey you to go with us.
We're like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up with these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Excellent. End of Scene 3. Scene 4. Hero's apartment. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to ride.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Exit.
Rod, I think your other rubato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good. And I worry your cousin will say so.
My cousin is a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. The hair were a thought browner. Your grounds of man, a most rare fashion. Your face, I saw the Duchess of Millen's drug gown, then they praised so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, 'tis but a nightgown in respect of yours, cloth o' gold, and cuts and laced with silver, set with pearls down the sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underboard, with a bluish tinsel, but for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on't.
God give me joy to wear it. for my heart is exceedingly heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art thou not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable and a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence a husband, and bad thinking do not rest truth speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any more harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. I ask my lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
Enter Beatrice.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am out of all other tune, methinks.
Clap unto light love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it?
Ye light, O love, with your heels. Then if your husband have stables enough, he'll see he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I score that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hi-ho!
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you be not turned Turk. There's no more sailing by the star.
What means the fool, trow?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching out of coal.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it, doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qual.
There thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth. I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, by'r lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I am, nor indeed I cannot think, for I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedict is such another, and now is he become a man. He swore he would never marry, and now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And now you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What peace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false glop.
Re-enter Ursula.
Madam, withdraw! The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church!
Help me dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
Excellent. End of scene 4. Scene 5. Another room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato with Dogberry and Verges.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Good man Verges, sir, speak a little off the matter, an old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt, as God help. I would desire There they were, but in faith honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you're tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all on your worship.
All thy tediousness on me,
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis. For I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watchman tonight, accepting your worship's presence, had taken a couple of his errant knaves, as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir. He will be talking, as they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us. It is a world to see. Well said, if faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of a horse, 1 must ride behind. An honest soul, if faith, sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread, but God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffragance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
Enter a messenger.
My lord, this day for you to give your daughter to her husband!
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Exeunt Leonato and messenger.
Go, good partner, go. Get your Francis Seacole, bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the gow. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-crime. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the gow.
Exeunt. End of Act 5. Scene 5. Whatever it is. Act 4. Scene 1. A church. Enter Don Pedro, Don John, Leonato, Friar Francis, Claudio, Benedict, Hero, Beatrice, and attendants.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief. Only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular deities afterwards.
You can come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her, friar. You come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be co-joined, charge you on your soul to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
Oh no, interjections? Why then some be of laughing as ha-he.
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you, with me free and unconstrained soul, give me this maid, your daughter?
Freely, son, as God give her to me.
And what have I to give back you, whose worth my counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you run to her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. Therefore, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how, like a maid, she blushes here. Oh, what authority to and show of truth! What can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the art of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity...
I know what you would say. I have known her. If I have known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband, and so exionate the forehand sin. No, Leonardo, I never tempted her with word too large, but but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on the seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Dian in her orb, as chaste as is the blue would earth be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well, that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand as honored that you have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken. These things are true.
But looks not like a neputial.
True, oh God.
Leonardo, Leonardo, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face Eros, or our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge they do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechising call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is not Hero who can... is it not Hero who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can that can Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight, out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then, are you no maiden? Leonardo, I am sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grief count did hear her, at that last hour last night. Talk with a ruffian at the chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed to vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in respect. Fine. They are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language, without offence out of them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
O hero, what a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell, thou pure in piety and impious purity. For thee I lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more be gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Hero swoons.
Why, how now, cousin? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
Exeunt Don Pedro, Don John, and Claudio.
How doth the lady?
Did I think, help, Uncle Hero, why, Hero, Uncle Signor Benedict Friar.
O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame. It may be wished for.
How now, cousin Hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yeah, whatever for should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, Hera. Do not ope their eyes. For did I not think thou wouldst not quickly die? Thought I thine spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would, on the rare word of reproaches, strike at thy life. Grieved I have but one. Dread I, for that frugal nature's frame. Oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why ever hast thou lovely in mine eyes? Why had I not charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smirched thus and mired with infamy? I might have said, no part of it 'tis mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins, but mine and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why, she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath dropped too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little wash what may season give her to foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you not her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger made, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that, speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune. By noting of this lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions, to start into a face 1,000 innocent shames, and angel witnesses beat away those blushes, and in the eye there hath appeared a fire, and burn the arrows that these princes hold. Against her maiden truth, call me a fool. Trust not my reading, nor my observations, but with experimental seal doth warn. The tenor of my book, trust not my age, my reverence, calling, nor divinity, is this sweet lady lie not guiltless here, under some biting arrow.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation. A sin of perjury, she not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he that you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There are some strange misprisons in this princess.
2 of them hath very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the bastard, whose spirits toil and frame and villainize. I know not, if they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall hear of it. A time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc on my means, nor my bad life wrecked me so much friends, but they shall find, awakened in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability and means and choice of friends, to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while. Let my counsel sway you in this case. The daughter here and the princess left for dead. Left her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation and your family's old monument. Hang mournful epitaphs and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will we do?
Mary, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse, and this some good, but not for the dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, she being lamented, pitied and accused of every here, for it so falls out that what we have we prize not to the worth whiles we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost. Why, when they're racked in values, we would find the virtue and the possession would not show us. Whiles it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When we shall hear she died upon his words, and the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into the study of imagination, and every lonely organ of her life shall come apparel in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full life into the eye and prospect of his soul. Then, when she lived indeed, then shall be mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true, let this be so, and doubt not but a success will fashion the event in better shape. Then I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but she be level false, and supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, all out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Senor Leonato, with a friar advise you, and though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body. Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for the strange sores, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Exeunt all but Benedict and Beatrice.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yeah, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do not believe your fair cousin is wrong.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I loved nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
Be my sword, Beatrice. Thou lovest me.
Do not swear, and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me. I will make him eat it that says I love you not.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why, then God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
and do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ha! Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice!
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height a villain, that hath slandered, skirned, dishonoured my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man! What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then, with public accusation, uncover slander, unmitigated rancour. Oh, God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties! Surely a princely testimony, a goodly Count Compact. A sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friends who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue. And trim ones, too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. And I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio hath wronged hero?
Yeah, as sure as I have thought or a soul.
Enough, I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
Excellent. End scene 1.
With the addition of stage.
Ready, start.
Scene 2. A prison. Enter Dogberry, Burgess, and Sexton. In gowns, and the watch, with Conrad and Borachio.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton. Which be the malefactor?
Marry, that I and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine. But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yeah, Mary. Let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Braccio!
Pray, write down, Braccio. Yours, Sirrah?
I'm a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down, Master Gentleman Conrad. Master, do you serve God?
Yes, sir, we hope. Okay.
Write down that they hope they serve God, and write God first. For God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourself?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you. But I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah. A word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is thought you are false names.
Sir, I say, but we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are dear accused.
Yeah, Mary. That's the Effort's way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is a flat perjury. I'll call the prince's brother a villain.
Master Constable!
Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, that he received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yeah, by mass, that it is. What else, fellow?
and that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly, and not marry her.
Oh, villain! Thou will be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, that you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Exit.
Come, let us be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands.
Off, coxcomb!
God's my life, where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass? You are an ass.
Dost thou not respect my place? Dost thou now respect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! But, master, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, you forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, ye as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more an officer, and which is more a householder, and which is more pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina. And one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns and everything handsome about him, bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
Excellent. End of Act 4. Act 5. Scene 1. Before Leonato's house. Enter Leonato and Antonio.
If you go on to thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself. I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls unto mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, and thus for thus, and such a grief for such, and every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, bid sorrow wag, cry hem, when he should groan, patch grief with proverbs, make fortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I to him will gather patience. But there is no such man, for brother men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give preceptial medicine to rage. Fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air, and agony with words. No, no, 'tis all men's office to speak patience to those that ring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue, no sufficiency, to be so moral when he shall endure a little like himself. Therefore, give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement. Therein do men from children doth differ. I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet a philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently. However, they have writ the style of gods, and made a push at chance and sufferance. Yet bend not all harm upon yourself. Make those that do not offend you suffer too. There thou speak'st reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, so shall the prince and all of them, and thus dishonor her. Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio.
Good den, good den.
Good day to you both.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Some haste, my lord? Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he can right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs you?
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou... Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword, I fear thee not.
Mary, be slew my hand, if it should give your age such a cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man. Never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool. As under privilege of age to brag, what I have done being young, or what would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine, innocent child, and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence, and with grey hairs and bruise of many days, do challenge thee to a trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander has gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where she shall never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio. Thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I prove it on his body, if he dare, despite his niece fence and his active practice. He may have youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou do death me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killst me, boy, thou shalt kill a man. He shall kill two of us, and men indeed, but that's no matter. Let him kill one first. When me and where me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy, come, follow me. Sir boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am a gentleman, I will. Brother, content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains, that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by thy tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops. Brother Antony, hold your content. What man? I know them, yeah. And what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, out-facing, fishing-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak of half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst, and that is all. But, Brother Anthony, come, 'tis no matter. Do not meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not make your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing, but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come, brother, away. I will be heard. And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Exeunt Leonato and Antonio.
See, here comes the man we want to seek.
Enter Benedict. Now, Signor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You're welcome. You're yeah. You almost come to part, almost a fray.
We had like to have had our two noses snapped off, with two old men without teeth.
Leonardo and his brother, what thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are, I proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never did any so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw as we do the minstrels draw, to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What though care killed a cat, thou hast mettle enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nay then, give him another staff. This last was broke cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge. Aside to Claudio.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have a good cheer.
What? A feast? A feast?
I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast a fine wit. True, she said, a fine little one. No, I said, a great wit. Right, she said, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, she said, it hurts nobody. Nay, I said, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for she swore a thing to me on Monday night, which she forswore on Tuesday morning, which is double tongue. There's two tongues. Thus did she and our together transhape thy particular virtues. Yet at least she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet, for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. An old man's daughter told us so.
All, and moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady, from my lord Lackbeard there. He and I shall meet, and till then, peace be with him.
Exit.
He's in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And he hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
He is then a giant to an ape. But then is an ape a doctor to such a man?
What soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Enter Dogberry, Verges, and the Watch, with Conrad and Borachio.
Come, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound? Brat you one.
Hearken, after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense did these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false reports, moreover, and they have spoken untruth secondarily. They have slandered, sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And, to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First I asked thee what they have done. Thirdly I asked thee what's their offense. Sixth, and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude what they lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answers? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince!
Let me go no further to my answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes, where your wisdom could not discover. These shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady hero, or you were brought into the orchard, and some Court Margaret hero's garment. I disgraced her when you should marry her. That my villain villainry. They have court upon record, which I have rather sealed my death upon than repeat over to my shame. The lady's dead upon mine, and my master's false accusations. You're so close. And brave ladders are nothing but the word of a villain. Run this not speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this? Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it. He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath informed Signor Leonardo of the matters. The masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Here comes Signor Leonato, and the sexton too.
Re-enter Leonato and Antonio, with the sexton.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I know another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look to me.
Art thou the slave that with my breath hast killed my innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou belicest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled, that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend over any heavy weight than he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible, but I pray you both possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter. almost a copy of my child's that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
O noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, when I will expect your coming, tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face he brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired it to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not. Nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always has been just as virtuous in anything that I do know her by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted, and will lend nothing for God's sake. Pray you examine him upon that point.
I thank ye for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the examples of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Exeunt Dogberry and Verges.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell. Farewell, my lords. We look to you for tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero. To the watch.
Bring these fellows on. We'll talk to Margaret. How her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Exeunt severally. End of Scene 1. Scene 2. Leonato's garden. Enter Benedict and Margaret. Meeting.
Pray thee, Mistress Margaret. Deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice. Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty? And so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come for it. For, in most comely truth, thou deservest it. That to have no man come over me, why shall I always keep below the stairs? Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth. It catches. And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not. A most manly wit, Margaret. I will not hurt a woman, and so I pray thee, call Beatrice. I give thee the bucklers. Give us the swords. We'll have bucklers of our own. If we'll use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids. Well, I'll call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs. And therefore will come.
Exeunt Margaret. Sings.
Look out. That's it. and lose me, and lose me, and pitiful I deserve. I'm here singing in the land of a good swimmer, probably the first employer of panders and the lawful broker of these quondam carpet makers. Whose names did run smoothly, and they even wrote of a blank verse. They were so never so truly burned. It's my poor ship in love. Maybe I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried, I cannot find out the right lady, but baby, her innocent rhyme was gone on a hard rhyme was full of Babylon rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet. No, I cannot go in festival terms.
Enter Beatrice.
Sweet Beatrice, wilt thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, but stay till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now, and yet ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is, with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Ugly foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of this right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudia undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For all of them, for them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart! If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that live in the time of good neighbors, and if a man do not erect in his age his own tomb, ere he does, he shall live no longer in monument. Then the bell rings and the widow weeps.
How long is that, think you?
Question. Why, an hour of clamour and a quarter in room. Therefore is the most expedient for the wise, if done warm, his conscience finds no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, who, I myself will bear witness, is praiseworthy. I now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me and mend. There I will leave you to, for here comes one in haste.
Enter Ursula.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all who is found gone. Will you come presently? Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes, and, moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Excellent. Scene...
And scene 2.
End of scene 2. Scene 3. A church. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, and 3 or 4 with tapers. Is this the monument of Leonato?
It is, my lord!
done to death by slanderous tongues, was the hero that here lies. Death in Grudon of her wrongs gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou were upon the tomb, raising her when I am done. Now, music, sound, and sing your solemn hymn. Song.
Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. For the ages round about midnight as my stars will remote, give up on sky and roll. Emily, Emily, killed your dead. I killed your dead, till the dead be uttered. Emily.
Now unto thy bones good night. Yearly I will do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have preyed and lurked a gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round the Jables and drowsy ease with spots of grey. Thanks you all, leave us, fare you well.
Good morrow, masters. Each is several way.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonardo's we will go.
And I'm in now with luckier issue speeds. That is this for whom we rendered up this woe. Exeunt. End of scene 3. Scene 5. 4. A room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Antonio, Benedict, Beatrice, Margaret, Ursula, Friar Francis, and Hero.
Didn't I tell you she was innocent?
So are the Prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course all the question. Well, I am glad all things sort out so well. And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it. Well, daughter, and you, gentlewomen all, withdraw to a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked.
Exeunt, ladies.
The Prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be a father to your brother's daughter, and give her to young Claudio. Which do I with confirmed countenance. Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, senor?
To bid me or undo me. One of them, Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favour. That eye my daughter lent her, 'tis most true. And I do with an eye of love requite her. The sight whereof I think you had from me, but from Claudio and the Prince. But what's your will? Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your good will may stand with ours. This day to be conjoined in a state of honourable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help. My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here comes the Prince and Claudio.
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio, and 2 or 3 others.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind. Were she an Ethiop?
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
Exit Antonio.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter? That you have such a February face, so full of frost of storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee. as once Europa did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noble beast in love.
Bull Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some strange bull leaped your father's cow, and got a calf in that same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Re-enter Antonio, with the ladies masked. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
It is the same she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife.
Unmasking.
And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whiles her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair friar, which is Beatrice?
Unmasking.
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do you not love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore that you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here's a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle! Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee. But by this light, I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace! I will stop your mouth.
Kissing her.
How dost thou, Benedict, the merry man?
I'll tell thee what, prince. A college of witchcrackers cannot flout me out of my humour. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. If a man will be beaten with brains, I shall wear nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it. I therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life, to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrow to thee.
Come, come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First, have my word. Therefore, play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. There is no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn.
Enter a messenger.
My lord, your brother John's is and in flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise the brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers!
Dance.
Hey, hey, hey!
Here!
Hey!
Ho!
Hey!
Ho!
Hey!
To the left!
To the left!
To thine right! To thine right!
To
thine right!
Get down with yourself.
Excellent. End of Act 4. End of Much Ado About Nothing. End of everything.
Yay!
Yay!